art is identity. The artist comes to tell the real realities. When our traumas goes unspoken, it is the poet who gives it a voice. When our youth, which I am so passionate about, feel invisible, it is the dancer, the painter, the beat maker who make them matter. Yes, I will say this. I did not grow up in galleries. I didn't study brushstrokes or attend art shows. But what will I say? I didn't grow up around stories. Told you in the firefights, in fabrics, in the rhythms, that was art. But I will say, so I ask you these questions that I just put out. What shaped your mind? What moved your soul before society told you what was useful? To the dreamers in this room, your art is not decoration, I will tell you. It is a declaration. To put something, imagine and give us a picture, or trying to portray something. It is time of war. Remind us who we are and who we can be. But hear me clearly. You do not need permission. You do not need applause. You only need your truth. Yes. And the bravery to express it. That's it. To our institutions, policymakers, and elders, if you want peace, find the painter. If you want progress, support the storytellers. If you want unity, amplify the voices of the unheard. Art is not soft. Art is sharp. It carves. That's why Austin art matters. Today I'm a poet. Yeah. So, again, I will say this platform is a rebellion against every brush, every verse, every heartbeat that is being waiting to be heard. Because this is not a ceremony, it is a canvas. And every single one of us here, we are the color. I will want to close by saying you are doing an extremely good work, and for those who have lived their time to come here, because art is a noble field. I don't know for the Gambia, but other countries, art is very luxury, especially in the creative art, because it depicts what binds us together, it depicts the country that we have, it depicts imagination and things that can be portrayed. Like I said in my earlier speech, art is a protest in silence. And I will end by this. I'm really glad to be here, and I don't know what to say. I am really happy because instrumental in trying to celebrate young people out there. You know that the exhibition that she normally organizes every year to celebrate young people who are tremendously doing well. Unification, celebrate everyone, and even to buy something. And I will apologize if I have to leave early because I have other engagements. So thank you.
He said, if you want peace, find the painter. That line just really struck for me. And his words just re-echoed the importance of creative arts in our society. It helps not just to promote peace, as he said, but moral excellence. And it is very essential that we support young creatives such as Austin Art, who are doing a tremendous work in this space. So moving on, we'll get to the creme de la creme of the event, which is the talk show conference itself. And we are going to start off with introducing the panel. And they say ladies first, so I'd like to introduce a very wonderful lady. Even Mr. Basiru J mentioned that she's from the exhibitions that she does. She's a creative instructor who's really inspired a lot of lives across the different schools through the Coaches of Influence Foundation platform. I recall that was the very first time I encountered her. Following her work online, and at some point we got in touch, and when I found out she'd be here, I was very much excited. So let us please celebrate Miss Aji Dulbe IG Joe. She's a very excellent lady himself. This is a man who, his passion for art is so unusual. Austin is I could call him the Michelangelo of our time. Because I recall there was a certain instance where he was doing a job he was painting a place, the premises, and I recall him spending 2 to 3 nights at that said location, just working to perfect his work. And he's someone who, he loves being excellent. It's awesome, it actually subscribed for a visual arts class he was organizing under the Achievers Mind technological aspect, but it did impact me nonetheless. And let us, Joseph John Gomez. Mr. Joseph John Gomez is the Vice Chairman of the Visual Arts Association, the Gambia. And he's also so thank you very much for being with us today. Could we kindly have mics handed over to them, please? So I will be the moderator, asking you a wide variety of questions, but it's not going to be a rocket science or nuclear physics. So be at ease. So the first question for tonight, yes please. Yes. Okay. So the first question goes to Mr. Austin Art. So Austin, as you launch your new pencil art album and exhibition, could you share what initially drew you to pencil art and how your journey has evolved over the years? So what got you into this initially, and how?
Thank you very much. Good evening. For this wonderful question. One of the things that really pushed me throughout the journey is the expression of joy from the people. And I can remember in 2020 when I actually started doing the lockdown, I started doing portraits, I started drawing. And anytime I hand over a portrait to someone, the first thing I see is smiles. And I'm wow, like, why is this person smiling? But they will so much be honest to me that you got my face. This is me. And, you know, that kind of excitement. I so much perceive joy, you know, ringing from the inside of them. And it's one of the things that really pushed me to venture deeper into art, because everything that we are ought to be a blessing to people, ought to put a smile to people's face. There is nothing that belongs to us that actually belongs to us. So my journey so far has really, I felt a little bit discouraged. And what keeps me going is the fact that anytime an artwork, it brings out joy. joy and smile.
So joy, you would say joy is what got you initially into art. That is quite fascinating if you ask me, because but he paints smiles on people's faces. That is remarkable, I must attest. But could you also tell us how pencil art has helped you to express certain aspects of culture? How has this medium of pencil art
inspire me, and the attributes that I experience when drawing? And one of it is patience. And patience is one thing that every human being ought to really have. And when doing an artwork, if you are not patient, you will mess it up. At the end of the day, you won't really see what you actually want to see. So doing the artwork, I see it as on how to be patient, and as well how to so much have hope in the finished work. And in our society today, if we don't have patience for each other, we won't really make impact. We have to respect each other's abilities, respect each other's belief, respect each other's way of life, and patiently flow with factor to me in my relationship with people. Yeah.
That's really great. So for you, art is beyond just using brush strokes to create portraits, but more about connecting and relating with people.
Exactly.
That is. So could you tell us a bit more about your path and journey, and highlight key experiences or moments?
I believe I just love art generally. I wouldn't specifically say that I've started this early. I love anything about art, whether it's fashion, matching clothes, matching shoes, anything. But basically it started junior school when I would write assignments or tests, or just random writings in class, and I would just sketch some patterns on my textbook or maybe down pad, and usually it make some teachers to be furious. But then late in my junior school, I have this teacher called Mr. GMEB. He now works at NCSC. I still want to say thank you for identifying me. He will always give me extra mark and tell me, Aji, your writings are great, and what's up with these pictures? He go paid me. And stuff. So he will keep telling me, I think you're very passionate. And when I come with my stocks and the uniform, he will tell me, why is it that you're always matching clothes and stuff? So he told me that I believe you're an artist by heart. Maybe you just need to push more so that you can able to sketch and do other things greatly. And right from there, at high school too, because I'm very passionate about art, I will do Egyptian art. Up to now, I could able to in 27. Where I come from my high school, the art was not very strong. So I needed to do something, because since the inception of this, I do different, right? Then when I proceeded to the Gambia College, that was right 2017, I said, okay, I need to do something with art so that I can refine my skill better. And then I did SES and art at the Gambia College. Right from there, I was not very sure what I need to basically do, or what space do I have in the art journey. Then I was also hired back. Just right after that, I was languishing with that. Do I need to do further trainings and all of that? And I come in contact with Coaches of Influence Foundation. I was their first creative art instructor. I was basically also love writing. I was teaching poetry, some basic of painting, and some little sketch of pencil works. And right from there, I was like, okay, what do I need to do then? But what really ignited the passion was in 2019, I have an opportunity to be at Egypt. That was my first time leaving the country just by myself. So there was this organization, they were invited to submit or to nominate somebody who's going to represent the Gambia for photography and also speaking. And of course, those are very fluent and eloquent speakers.
Absolutely.
Then they were struggling to have a photographer, and they said specifically they needed a female. That was in 2019. I didn't have a camera, put that in mind. Not a studio. And I said, directors in the country, I was under him, and he asked me, what do we need to do? Because then we were under sponsorship by Prospect for Girls. They were sponsoring people that are passionate about art, tailoring, and stuff. So I said to myself, but I didn't even own a camera, so when I go, what am I going to do? I'm going to disgrace myself at the end of the day. So I said, okay, let me just try. So I just went out and I said, okay, why not I depict something that speaks about where I come from? So I I pictured a girl and a boy who was just holding hands and their clothes were tattered. It's something like just wax sort of. So I just cut it in a bit. Basically not holding or depicting poverty, but something that when you look, you can able to know that it resonates with Africa. And I was to myself, okay, let me just try this. Let me just give it a try because I was not even sure. So my mentor, I've been on the battle. I think with time I will get to speak more about that.
That's an exciting journey right there. All the way from doing doodles on your assignments or exam papers, all the way to representing the nation on such a platform is very inspiring. And one thing that she pointed out is you want to vent. Look, those are just mental limitations. If you persist, come your way. We saw just from her story how, and another important thing to take from that is how mentors played an essential role, from Mr. Jammeh, the teacher, identifying that you like wearing matching clothes and just identifying that potential. You need people like that. And pay keen attention to comments such as those, because that might be a pointer to where you're very talented at. And IG, could you just tell us if there's been, I know you explained that at some point when you completed from the, go on, why do you think that's the case?
Right, I have a lot. Yeah, excuse me, I have to be speaking more of the associate people that are doing who is fail or dominant or very dominant or dull in class.
It's intelligence,
so,
creative.
And so I take up upon chat from people, really male, whatever. So this wasn't prize and whatever. Just excuse me, I need to share this. Just come with my black and I am short like that with my bags and all of that. She said, but it's just my word again. And then I said, but I've been here like for an hour. She said, no, you know, just the moment of saying, like, yeah. So all of a sudden I feel down if we are not going to do well. And at some point I was like, when I covered the event, I knew from her attitude or response that she was not very good. And then I said, okay, this is my time to prove myself. I covered the event late at night. I went home and I said, you know what, I think I should not on 7, 8, 9, 10, the photos were already on her WhatsApp. Nathan, you question? I was like, yeah. She looked at it and looked at it. She was like, why Jack Hayo? Nathan, I expect more only. In my mind, I was like, yeah, I know. I'm not expecting good. So at some point, I wanted to give up. And when it comes to the painting and pencil work, I'm not going to call his name, but he was a great mentor. Perfect my skills. I always feel like there is more to learn. I was like, hey, I have something. I think we can do great portraits for you and all of that. So when I said, I want you to excuse me and just go away, pack your stuff. Stay still at home. It will be a possible journey for me until when.
This is so inspiring, so motivating, especially the aspect where she spoke about being asked out. Honestly, if that was me as well, I'll just feel like, yeah, this is it for me. So, Mr. JJ, your work is well known for its depth. So, could you just kindly tell has an influence on your work?
Thank you very much. I must say also that I am hosting and Lobe and a lot of people like you, and so on. I realized they've been painting before I was born, so so I'm really well encouraged to see these younger ones. But to your question, I think it's more about, this question brings me back.
Could you just tell us where exactly?
I always want you know that I issues get me a lot. So many of you don't know so to the art.
How do you see
and that it would. I am over the years, artists has been difficult, and as you've met, giving that attention and that support that on what Austin is doing, what Lupe is doing, support that on what Austin is doing, what Lupe is doing, and many other people could see it, in what the young ones are doing. There's more. That's us, the young ones, in what the young ones are doing. There's more. That's us, the young ones are up to some works and they're speaking, and they're speaking, and
that. Because of the rated more experience at your age, that is an indication. How else are the key factors that can?
Okay, I think the gap is huge. From mentorship programs that are going to equip young people. However, you need to hear from people that are in the field, right? As any other field, like medicine, you name it. The other thing is we need to be serious about what kind of art do we basically want to do. It's only in the Gambia that we have an entire university that you cannot further fine art, pure fine art, I mean.
Yes, we need that.
Pure fine art. So Senegal, they have a lot. Ghana, you have a lot of kids that are learning how to sketch. But then if you want to produce more artists, we're not just producing artists by name. And if you're not serious about how those people can be molded professionally, then we are not still serious. Because a university as big as UTG is supposed to have a fine art department where people that are passionate to the country, and they said we are looking for people that have studied art at a personal level or professional level. We are going to fail. We barely or will have just little people. But when we said we want agriculturists, we want medical field, we will have a lot. So I believe that stakeholders are still not serious. I don't know if this will put me into trouble, but
no, not at all.
But it starts from the educational level, because most of the artists I've known are self-taught artists. They have mentors, of course, but they do not develop their skill to pure art. I mean, you go to the university or UTG, you're doing pure art. Come on, 12 to 15 years, we are going to produce more of Michelangelo or even better. For the fact that you have a studio, you are helping, you are supporting, you are mentoring, you are grooming another generation, an army of other artists. And that doesn't mean that they are going to steal your legacy from you. Because we need to support and mentor people, because any country that has me just behind them. So professionalism and mentorship.
That's powerful. Could we give it up for IG? I think that point about the stakeholders is one that needs to be reiterated over and over. That's why I'm so glad we have Mr. Jatta with us here, and even Mr. Commander, who have played a very crucial role in the art scene. Mr. Commander could we celebrate him, please? He's the brains behind Stage and Screen Entertainment, and he's been around the creative space for as long as I can remember. I mean, he has really tried. And if some of those things that you mentioned are acted upon, we'll have an ecosystem that would really thrive. And could you also kindly share what you think and believe is the way forward?
Yeah, I think I would connect with what Aji has said. But then, I mean, he's an artist but has almost left it, right? Okay. Maybe he was able to be...
Let's celebrate him as well. This could be where his music career has a resurrection.
Definitely, I believe so. But yes, I think he has spoken quite well in terms of what the government institutions and ministries concerned and so on should do. But there are other stakeholders, and I've always looked at it from the perspective of what the artists can do to begin to change or trigger change in our culture. Because one thing we know, Gambia, unless you've done something spectacular that everybody talks about, you don't really get the respect that you deserve. I remember when I was in secondary school, from outside to present it as grade 9. You know, I said, oh no. When I was giving grade 9, I said, never.
That is unacceptable.
That's not going to happen here. Right? You have to do it in the school, and I got it, because the essence is not for you to pass your exam. The essence is for you to discover who you are, right? And that's my duty as a teacher,
profound.
to help you. The examiner came, he scored her 20 grades high. But then it made me believe that we should go back to see what is in our culture. The problem in the Gambia is because people are not themselves, right? Because they've learned from the young age that I can outsmart the system and do this. We will have to believe in doing things ourselves. And I think art can do that. And we can go back to teach people honesty, to teach people hard work, to teach people, you know, through the creativity that we are bringing them into. So, yes, government has a part to play, but I think for us, the artists, we're realizing that more and more that we need to begin to engage them and tell them, hey, wake up, you have to look at this, right? So we need to play our part and see what
Thank you so much, Mr. JJ. Interesting point you made there. It's not just on the stakeholders, it's also on us, the creatives. So let's have it from Mr. Austin Art himself. Then we'll take the final question, and that would be it for the talk show.
All right, thank you so very much. They've made mention of so many important points, and I just want to elaborate more on value. Value. Until you value who you are or what you are capable of doing, people hardly can value it. So I think Gambian artists as well need to hear this. We need to value our abilities. We need to value our skill. We need to value the natural abilities that God has given us. And if we start valuing it, then our value will really push us towards excellence. Because you can't come up with a very casual work and expect people to just treat you anyhow. You understand? You have to. I'm not saying you just get perfect just at once. No, it's a journey. It's a journey, and in that journey, you have to value everything that you do. You value everything. So there is so much change that is going to take place in the art industry. IG, I believe you agree with me. Yes. Mr. JJ, you agree with me that there is so much great change that is about to take place in Gambia, because young people are coming up with great innovations. Young people are coming up with great ideas, creativity, and one thing that I've observed in Gambia is awareness. Awareness. People don't really. So many people are not aware about the significance of art. So how do you value what you are not?
And it must be really painful with all the work, the blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, I mean, Lee do drawing, right? You understand that?
Then you should tell them to try.
People need to be exposed with regards the art compared to other countries. Countries like Senegal. Look at Senegal here. The art has really boomed in Senegal because of that, and it was not a one-man thing. Different artists can come together. I'm going to come to that. We have a picture of one vision. So, as artists, what we want to see in the next 5 years concerning Gambia, art in the Gambia. We come together, have one vision. We have an aim, we have a target, we want to accomplish something. Is it is it changing the beautiful environment of our country? It is art. So I don't know, but these are some of the points that I've really observed in Gambia: value and also awareness. And artists coming to that point wherein we have one vision, we are together. You have your own stuff that you're doing, but also when we meet, we have a certain plan for Gambia.
Amazing. Thank you for pointing out that there's a need for a vision, and also making it clear that it's a call to collaboration, and embracing your unique abilities and coming together to put those together to boost things forward. So the final question is one that which is, I'm a very big enthusiast. So this talk show would be incomplete if we do not speak about this very crucial aspect. So I think technology play in the art space, changing the narrative of what creativity is all about. Because with the rise of AI generation, we have, is it a concern? Do you think it has a damaging effect? What are your thoughts?
Okay, thank you so much. I think it's a friend to us and also our competitor. And you cannot actually have good photos without having an editing app. And obviously that is one part of tech. When it comes to AI with artworks, usually because exhibition you attend, they will need a print of your artwork, especially when the place is far. However, now people prefer AI version of art than the traditional way. Let me take an example. So then you realize that as a photographer, you find it very difficult, especially when you're working with the better you are. The more original the photo is, the worse photographer you are. So I believe it's helping us in some way, but then they will tell you, I can just go to a printing station and print it on canvas and have it done. Then coming to buy from Austin, which will cost me maybe 5,000 or 6,000. And some of these photos from free web, there are free photos that you can caricature, you can manipulate with it, print it and have it nice displayed. You don't even know who produced that, whether it's a technician or an artist or whatever. So you can just have it as cheap as possible. You can just run to AB Printing and said, Natal will print. They print it and put it in a photo. Then you go into the original artist and perhaps it might take you days or weeks. So I believe AI is doing good at some aspect of art. However, sometimes also it's great because when you want to submit for other competitions or submissions for magazines, their document or whatever format they ask you to send it with. So I think, yeah, that's my answer.
I like the fact that she really, yes, you can, though it is an enabler. It even takes you to places you never dreamed could ever be possible. And so could you tell us about how social media can enable young creatives to push out their work? Thank you.
I can tell you that is how I have failed to use social media to really push out my paintings and my work, because I think, but that just answers your question in some way, because it's just telling me that there is something I can harness to my advantage, but I failed to do it. And I have a particular young fellow, you know, they're on TikTok, bro. I mean, we are different by tech, and for you to be known, to be heard, to be seen, you have to be on that wagon. So I think it's just a wake-up call for me and some older artists to begin to do that. But AI-generated art can affect the work of the artist, which I can say, yes, it's true. The computer can do far better works than you, but because you are a living person, I think that's where the difference will come. When you take the work of an artist, there's a whole story behind it. There's life in it. Because unless we do this, the people wouldn't know. Right? All that the average Gambian see is the aesthetic aspect of art. Oh, it's very nice, it's beautiful, let's go to my house. After a while, they began to connect with my paintings in the living room. You know, after some few months, they begin to appreciate it. But before when they came, they don't even pay attention. But that's what art does, it engages you. They are not in a boring place, they're engaged by the paintings in my room. So we need to be doing this, and we need to be conscious of the fact that we should use social media and AI to the, you know, extent that it can serve our purpose, right? But what we are doing as artists cannot be replaced. Definitely cannot.
I absolutely concur. The originality is always very essential, and no duplicate can ever match up to raw human creativity. And how I see it, really, I feel like art and technology have a symbiotic relationship. Because if you study the origin of tech, it started off with painters like Leonardo da Vinci, who drew the sketches, yes, of a lot of the inventions we have today. The airplane. He was not just an artist, but he was an inventor, an engineer. And his paintings, they casted into the minds of people possibilities. And that's even how technology had its birth. So it's a symbiotic relationship. A few questions. Limited, let's say 2 questions from the audience, yes, which will be answered by, don't be shy or ashamed. Yes. Or even if you're watching or following us online and you want to ask a question, feel free to do so. Okay, I see a hand. All right. Could you help to?
Mine is not a question, but a contribution and maybe an encouragement. It has to do with the last question that you asked them about AI and technology. Now, the world is evolving and it's becoming a digital world, and people are just venturing into technology so much just to refine your work and help you grow. Yes, there are people that prefer work done by AI, but then, for example, if I ask Austin to maybe draw something that has to do with my culture, my background, let's say where I'm from Daslame, and then the culture there and all of that, I can simply call Austin to the place and he can take a walk so he can understand the environment and the story that I want him to portray. And probably, listen, maybe my grandma is there, he can also take a look at him or her and then draw it. Now, I want to believe the computer will not be there to see what Austin would see. You understand? Now, then, when it comes to, okay, let me complete that. And they ask, I'll probably say it's Austin that when people ask me, and let's just say it's from AI, and people ask me, where did you get it from? And saying that it's from AI, then they will actually maybe question your reason for doing that or why that painting is there. But then if you say that it's from Austin, right? But then you can also use AI in a way. Let's say maybe have online platforms that you can use to draw your art that will make it maybe easier and less, you will not have to spend much when it comes to materials and all of that because everything is online. You can do that as well. As the world is evolving, we're encouraged to evolve as well and move with the pace of the world. We cannot allow AI to take our work. What we have to do is learn how to use AI. For example, AIs, we have robotics and all of that. Who are the people that are building this robot? Human beings. So you don't expect that robot to come and take your job. How about you learn how to build robots? Then it will not take your job. It is also dependent on you, so you can produce it. So we can just learn ways of using AI and technology to improve our work and show the people that something unique that you know that, okay, when I go to AI, I will not have it, but with Austin, I'll have it, like the story behind everything that you want to do. So it's important that we use technology to develop ourselves and come up with unique things that are different from AI.
It would interest you to know that Anita she's also into art to some extent. You cannot take out the human element of, the emotion, the story that underlies every piece of art, the message. So, would like to round up the talk show right there. Has it been a very, do we have a question at the back? Okay, yes, we'll take a...
Hi.
Hello.
Paul Jassy here. So my question is, in the production of your art, what is the cost involved in it? How sustainable is it? And what are the gains you have? What are the challenges that you face in?
So who wants to answer that? Okay, Ivy, can you? Okay.
Okay, so the cost differs. First, if you need to have a very good quality set of brushes, it costs you nothing less than $1,000. And these are just that are Gambians but have stayed abroad for so long and a painting end up just selling it for $2,000. Then it's end up just selling it for $2,000. then there's no need because your workmanship is not being paid for. However, sometimes you have, like Uncle Joe kept saying, painting whatever did some crazy stuff. I could not sell it. I did that painting in 2020. That was during the Corona time. 2019, 2020, earlier. And I just did some 2019, 2020, earlier. And I just did some that's crazy whatever, and I keep posting it. Nobody got it from me. Last 2 years back, 2023, I held an exhibition called the Starving Dreamers exhibition. So I a price that I don't even tag, higher than the price that I've already asked for. So sometimes you can have customers that can buy it. At the price tag, and some can even exceed that because than what you asked for. Does that answer your question? Do I miss anything in the question?
So I am an artist myself. So I
just wanted to ask this question to open the people experiencing this for the first time to difficult buyer, putting your art out there, to customers, and the cost involved, the expenses involved, market yourself as a brand. How do you make people know your art apart from just getting buyers or clients from the people supporting anymore? It's not just for the support, but they are coming to get your art because you are making something substantial, you are making beautiful work. You understand? So how is it that you put yourself out there? What are the mechanisms? What are the tools you use? How do you publish yourself?
Right. So I think everybody's art is responsible for you to basically do. My photographs, they're all over. If I do a painting, however it looks, I will share. And at some point, people get bored. Like they will be IG sononing every week, except until I wrote they are sold out. So then I'm Jama. I'll be posting on TikTok, on Facebook. So you need to be intentional, because at the end of the day, you can share your works to people and they choose not to share it. But you supposed to be the brand that you are selling, because if you're not posting, if you're not out there looking out for opportunities, most of the artists are doing so well. Sometimes you even ask like, Gambian name. But most of them have never held exhibition. They have not crossed the country to exhibit. Why? Most of them don't go even online to check on any opportunities. The ministry or whoever is not responsible to say register exhibition, try your chance, submit your works for these magazines. 2021, I've just saw some magazine who was trying to look for entries for people that are doing photography and art. That was in the UK. By then I was working with the Coaches of Influence Foundation. I saw it at some point, I was like, do I need to? And some of the requirements they were asking was behind me. Instead, when the magazine came, saying that to say that you need to be intentional about your work, you need to post, you need to reach out to opportunities. Opportunities are not going to knock on your door. You can be a great artist at the corner doing everything good, but then you don't have somebody or you don't have a platform where you can showcase or sell your art. But you basically need to be online. While you're scrolling, you post something about your work. Take another 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, look for opportunities online. Because most people post your art. You cannot be an artist and every other day you're posting other people's stuff. If you post somebody's flyer who is doing a concert or a music, whatever, the next thing is supposed to be one of your pieces that is sold or is yet to be sold. Post. Because if people are at some point tired,
is to what we are doing here today. Because I actually wanted to start posting my works. I did post some works, but I stopped in 2023. And since then, I've not posted any of my works. And I said to myself, why not I start posting my works now? Because I've done so. So an idea came, I was sharing with someone, and the person brought up an idea, was like, okay, why not you do this, and do this, and do this? Wow, this is good. And then that's what brought about all this. And I'm like, before I just start posting my works, we do a conference, we have an official launching. So from today, From today, I'll be posting like no man's business. So I'm already telling you so that as soon as you start seeing my work, don't get tired. Don't get bored. And anyway, you're not going to be bored. You're not going to be bored because there's so much going to be inspirational. Yeah. So basically, publishing has so much opportunities out there. It has so much opportunities out there. It's all about AI, all about technology. Whatever you're doing today, one of the things that can really catapult it out is the media. Media is one thing, and people so we talk about TikTok. I had to download TikTok. I see this talk. We must talk the thing. We must do this matter. Thank you very much. Wow.
Okay, so we'll just take the final question. I think I saw a hand. Yes. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay, Mr. JJ, you want to add to that?
Just add a little something. If my president allows me, maybe tomorrow, I don't know what to go and do something. So when we come together, I think nobody can resist that force. So please, I'm encouraging everybody to consider joining back, people like Papa, and everybody who is a visual artist here, right? And those of you who are into photography, I think you have a particular film, something that you want to be part of because you connect with more artists in the Gambia and you get more opportunities. Right? I think I really admire these young people, how they're using social media.
Yes. Mr. Commander.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good
and
evening.
my question
That's a lovely question. Thank you so much. So, Austin Hawk?
The first day I was so nervous. Because, but anyways, I started drawing since when I was a child, since primary school. I can remember those, Augustus, do my work for me, draw for me. I'll tell them, oh, $2, $1, and they will give, and I'll keep drawing. And I realized that the more our arts teacher, you know, Mr. H.N. John, draw your shoe. I drew my shoe. He gave me 10/10. I was shocked. 10/10, this level. So I actually thought I was already there. I actually thought, but growing up, it got to a point wherein I just did this artwork in 2019 with excitement. But I was a little bit nervous. I was
stuck. I want to congratulate Fortizo Technology. Fortizo Technology. And people who attended business owners and chief coming to the man attended business owners and chief coming to the man Augustus. It's way back my desire. I think for me I'm privileged. None of my way back my desire. I think for me I'm privileged. None of my good artists, but they are making a living out of their work. Somebody is innovative, but they are making a living out of their work. Somebody is innovative and entrepreneurship. Those who are watching football, you post Messi, everybody entrepreneurship. Those who are watching football, you post Messi, everybody knows you love. And that's where we've met. And in different fears of different fears of position, we're proud of them because the little beginning is important. That's what I want all of us to know here. And to my uncle, I'm an art and entertainment consultant. I want all of us to know here. And to my uncle, I'm an art and entertainment consultant. Every day I'm working with art. I am indebted. Every day I'm working with art. I am indebted. I'm deeply involved in arts. Those who know me, you cannot take artistic journey for me. I think whenever we meet, we discuss about our journey. Everybody that knows me, I don't talk football. I only watch. Whenever we meet, we discuss about our journey. Everybody that knows me, I don't talk football. The best sport for me is lawn tennis. But if you want to be my friend, let's talk about books. Let's talk about books, drama, criticism about technical working in terms of an emergency survey in here is is one. So then I still know where the problem is. And that is why RG is doing what we call aggressive marketing. RG is doing what we call aggressive marketing. And this is a contribution. It's not about Austin Nagara, the man inside and paints the picture as if everything is going on well. No, they are struggling. And I keep saying, to be sincere, there is no way out yet in the Gambia for artists. You have to find your way out. One is collaboration. Two, knock on doors. I tell people they've shut doors on me over and over. But today, these are the people who pick up phone and said, hey, we have this coming up, you need to be part of it. But I keep saying, I have an option to say no, and to say yes. And how do I say no, I'm not part of it. No, and to say yes. And how do I say no, I'm not part of it. So that's why you yourself need to be as part as the contribution towards our development. If all of you can say, after this program, I want you to draw my grandma, my uncle, or when I was a baby, I have a picture. You also contributed economically. You see all the works of the legacy of Gambian. I used to be a curator for some of them. Top Gambian artists. They are very old now, but whenever I see their work, there is no way if I step into somebody, the moment I see his work, I will tell you this is his work. There is no, because the brain, that's what using your phone, taking pictures, it's important. But at least, the least you could do is also supporting her. And say, time mom, my own sister. Our friends who are painters here, you have a lot of things you can do with them. You can talk to them. I want to paint a picture about myself. Let me tell you, AI can never do computers for decades. It's what the computer is giving us back. So that means there have been people who have been so great before us, but we are still here. So please, at the end of the show today, please take their numbers and said, I'm having a party, my school program, I'm having a conference, and I want to also attend the program, but also the changes we make. For everybody who is an artist here, come, my brother, we all know the system, how it works. We keep fighting with the government for a better improvement for artists. But I keep saying, you have your own journey. Your vision is different from my vision. But the least we could do as an artist is collaborate. We come together as a team. I think Gambia has that power. Boka Loho. We have that power for many years. If we come together as a team, we look at our differences aside and said, he said it, we said we give ourselves a target. In the next 10 years, we want Gambia to be a hub for artistic work. It's possible. She's doing a bit, he's doing his bit with technology, he's doing his work. Everybody is doing their own little bit, but we need to empower each of those artists. And the most saddest thing is, you see people on the arts and people are discouraging them. We've been to places and people tell you, I can't artist. No. I tell you, we go to places and when we stepped in and they open doors for you, it's important for you to know that every artist is a landed person. Every artist, I keep saying, if I go to a place, I will tell you straight at your face, we are not cheap people. I see people going to tell people, you do a paint, acrylic alone is expensive. Somebody is telling you, paint will be nakara. A painting that a white man will look at and say, oh my God, what? How much is it? He said $50,000. I'm coming. Quickly, he counts 50,000 and give. And say, hey, how is it? But we are also pleased again to go to the art galleries. I've seen it. Gambians will go and take pictures at the art galleries and use it as what? Their status. Not even commending the work of the artist and said, this is a great work done by a Gambian artist. You can contact this person, so and so and so. This is how you promote us. But you just take the picture, you keep it in your folder, and then you turn it to your screensaver. Again, it's on Facebook. No, nobody is working. And the whole artistic journey is a challenging one for Gambians. And we as young people should determine in the next 10 years where we want to see this nation with artists. And I am so shocked that we are doing tourism, but the artistic part is lacking. What do we have to sell to the world?
Yes, sir.
You go to Asia, you go to South Africa as a place. South Africa has a theater that was going on during COVID. And nobody was in the theater, but we watched a full theater play during COVID. And this is possible. You have online galleries. If you want to also be an artist here, I love seeing people being into the art. You can be the accountant, but please meet the artist, talk to them.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much. I commend all of you. Thank you.
Mr. Commander, that was a really great one. So next up, we're about to have a poetic performance from none other but the perpetual poet. Can we please appreciate him as he makes himself to the stage? Yes, please, come join us here.
Yes, Gambia. I am thrilled to be here, of course, and I have to say congratulations to Austin. This is great, seeing the work of Gambians in the field of arts. It's very, very, which is key for the fundamental survival of any nation. So I will resonate with the importance of Africa as a continent and how we can use our continent for broader unity and of course. So please stay with me. If I just miss the lines, no one will laugh, okay? Niaje kutumante asikeno barakoli tije bari asikeno fanang jamfale biji. Youth is not fuarea but keleya kukuruya mobe ko fast. I will crawl till I see my flight. Local agriculture, but nyodomo culture, nandema barka culture, fanya culture, nakaria culture, and tapalaya culture. This is called agriculture in Gambian culture. Nimala nagon exam Minister of Agriculture. About following this is called agriculture even in my own culture. Is there any adventure in agriculture? So that's why I said, please don't. I'm sorry I was saying it for that, please. We are economically are randomly abused and injurious, and we are busy accusing. We are refusing the reality, clarity, solidarity, and prosperity. Our lands are barren because we abandon the productivity, select Africa. Impunity is compromised, advertised, and authorized, but Africans are. We are talking about a world where Africans, we must stand by our feet and work. Let's make our own and spine our own mates. We are the fosters and the rosters of our continent, Africa. So before going, that is the end of the poem. Austin, thank you so very much for giving me the opportunity. He's a young man doing great. I think like the guy said, we have talented people in this country, but the support is the problem. And of course, this could serve as a stepping stone. You can help him by studying his work on your status and of course on your social media. So we all have talents. We all have talents, but how we utilize our talents. What do you do to bring about change, which is very, very important. So thank you so very much. I am a writer and a poet, of course, a science student. I will be launching my book on the 10th May at Bobo Hotel. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so very much. The perpetual poet, your words will linger perpetually in our minds. Okay, so right now we're getting into the main event. But before we go on, I would just like to recognize the presence of a very, very essential person.